Hi, my loves. How are we doing? All right, I'm just coming in for a general read. However, this one is going to be titled more of the person that you were connected with. Was it love? Was it authentic, unconditional love? Or was this just more just to boost a lesson into you, okay? Because the reason I want to bring this up, because I've noticed this in my personal clients this last couple weeks, and a lot of reassurances out of a lot of people need to come up to the surface, and a lot of questions that have been asked is, was it love? Was it real? Do they feel a real feeling towards me? What was all of this for? And it's a very hard question. A lot of it is reassurances are being brought up to the surface, especially if you are dealt with somebody that clearly, when it comes to love, didn't work out. You dealt with betrayal, or if there's been a long period of like a no contact period going on. So it's kind of like, clearly I'm talking to a collective. You have no idea what's the outlook or the energy between you and this person. So the only thing we can do is reassure the guidance between you and this connection. Okay. So I gotta give y'all a heads up. Like, it may be a trigger. I'm going to do a trigger warning. This may be certain things maybe you don't want to hear. So, but the whole point of this reading is to break certain illusions and try to give you at least that reassurance, even if it's something you don't want to hear. But per usual, if this doesn't apply to you, sit right with you. You don't want to hear what I have to say, that is okay. I will be back some other time. And like I said, if this is something you really don't want to hear, that is all right, okay? What I'm going to start out first to see what was your guys' dynamic like, and then the lesson behind it, so I could see if this is your reading. So what was the dynamic like between this collective and their person, please? Thank you. Oh, okay. So I did get the 5 of Swords, and then the 7 of Swords, and then the King of Cups in reverse. So clearly, I will say immediately, your person was kind of the problem in a lot of ways. I think they were always emotionally avoidant of this connection, and with that 7 of Swords, there was clearly some form of betrayal. There was a little bit of sneakiness, and I think the sneakiness is there was a lot of self-sabotage. Makes me curious if you dealt with the person that came into your life, or many times, depending of, they were very intense. They were all for you. They kind of, gave you this heads up that you were my husband, my wife. I miss you. I want to be with you. I love your energy. And then something like drastically shift in a matter of like almost like 24 hours. Like, it's almost like Jekyll and Hyde. It's kind of that energy I'm getting, when it comes to your person. I think something did switch over, and I think a lot of it is coming from a place of self-sabotage. They were emotionally manipulative. I'm not going to lie. They really did confuse you. They really did. With that sword energy, I feel like you were always in a confusional state when it comes to this person. No wonder I'm picking up a collective that wants to know, was it love? Was it? Because you never, no matter if this person, you dealt with this person one time, or if they came into your life several times, it doesn't matter. They never cleared the path for you. Obviously, their action shows with the way they, treated you, that they were very avoidant. But you never got that clear answer from them of, was it love? Was it this? Now, obviously, somebody, as bad as it sounds, that runs from you, is that form of love? No, they obviously held up a mirror to you. They were trying to reflect something out of you at the same time. And a lot of it is, I feel like, unfortunately, I'm talking to a collective. Yeah, Hangman, there's stagnancy going on between the two of you. There's a runner-chaser dynamic. I don't think this collective, you're chasing this person by no means, but clearly with the way things could be very intense between the both of you, this collective, you could have got caught up on a lot of false promises, on a lot of words, is more what I'm getting. You didn't get caught up on the actions. The actions on the aftermath, which was the complete opposite of what they told you, is what puts you in this confusion. And I always say, men in general, love in general, I will say, it should never be confusing. Literally, with the 2 of Swords in reverse at the bottom of the deck, it should never be confusing. When they show you who they are, that is your answer. And I feel like with this collective, in the nice way, you still get your head wrapped up of, I don't have an answer. The way they treat you, the way they disregard you, the way they, again, I'm getting the image of Jekyll and Hyde from this person. That is your answer. They're not keeping things stable for you, is more, I guess, the word I want to use. But let's see what's your connection like more. Four of Wands, that's where I'm saying you clearly had a relationship with this person. Seven of Wands, that's what I'm saying. This person conquered you. They won your heart. They did. They said all the right things, didn't they? But man, they did not show it in the end, did they? I think this person really did, popped up as a dream come true for you. There's that Two of Swords, but it came up upright. This person would always be very confusing. And with that Seven of Swords, makes me curious if this person, Knight of Wands, like a jackrabbit, if they would kind of, and again, I'm getting emotionally manipulative, like they would kind of ghost you. It's almost like this person would purposely, I don't know if purposely, for some of you that could be the right word, but for others of you, it's like, again, self-sabotage. I have to say, if your person does not want to have a conversation with you, or if they don't want to address something, man, they will pull their energy back on you. And they would kind of do this consistently to kind of get you on the hook. As bad as it sounds with that Knight of Wands energy right here, they said a lot of things to get you on the hook. And this part's going to be triggering. They knew in a way you would never leave them. They know in a way, even right now, your energy's still lingering on. And especially if I'm talking to a collective, if you've always been back and forth with this person, they know you would always be available, especially with that Four of Wands energy. So in a lot of ways, this person knows what they're doing, but they don't at the same time. Clearly, they are very emotionally immature, but that's where I'm seeing with that Five of Swords and Seven of Swords right there. That is emotional manipulation. I'm hearing they're grown enough to know what they're doing. And I will say, I feel like this person's always chosen other people over this connection. And that's where I'm saying with the Five of Swords. I always say, again, they go to easier, they don't go to better. Whatever if they're with somebody else right now, if they're treating that person the exact same way, as bad as it sounds, probably worse. But this person, man, they gave Four of Wands, they gave you a promise they could not fulfill in the end. You know, it's kind of that if they wanted to, they would. And a lot of times I don't believe that, because sometimes some people, they can't do things for you. This person could, they chose not to. And this is the blunt part, they chose not to be the man or the woman that you needed them to be. They made a decision and they made it, and they did it the cowardly way. Was this love? Ten of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, the Devil in reverse. I need you to understand this and use discernment, please. Your life truly got better without this person. Your mental health got better. You're seeing clearly on the situation. Why are we revisiting the same chapter? That's where I'm saying, as much as, yes, this person puts you into confusion. Was it confusing? Because right now, I don't think you and this person are talking. I think this person's occupying for a lot of you, they could be with somebody else. Why are you going back into that dark habit of what were we back then? You knew what they were. You're safe now. You've gotten better since this connection. I don't think this person has. I'm going to be honest. I don't. Literally, Seven of Wands and Three of Cups, they chose third parties. They're choosing third parties. This is going to be blunt. No, it wasn't love. This is not love. Again, this person knew what they were doing. That's where I kind of said when they would hold back their communication, or again, I'm using that term Jekyll and Hyde, when they switch over. In a lot of ways, it's kind of like they knew it would get under your skin. They knew it would bother you because it was a form of control. That's not love. That is not love. So do not go back into that mindset of, well, I think that could have been. No, it wasn't. You've grown a lot, especially with, again, mental health, your stability. You became stronger and wiser. This person is still conquering who they could get in their batter. That's not love. Let me see you do a couple more of what is the lesson, more of what you need to hear about this person. Okay, so then I got the Nine of Swords and then the Four of Cups right here. If anybody ignores you as a form of punishment, constantly withdrawing their communication, constantly, giving you false empty-handed promises, that should be your answer. When it comes to love, quit, in a lot of ways, that's where your anxious attachments come in with this person. It's like you would crave them even more. The moment they show you, I don't care, I'm not interested, your feelings don't matter to me, leave. That is not love, and do not go back into that mindset that that should be glamorized or romanticized. You still deserve better.